Hi, this is Patty D. Priest and welcome back to Educate Academy. We are looking at Google Calendar. This is actually the Kate account. And you'll notice that on the left-hand side I have access to a bunch of different calendars. If I want to turn one on and off, you'll notice that I clicked on Kate Training and it put a check mark here. And you'll notice that it pulled that up next side to this one. Now, the bad thing is that it's the same color as the one next to it. And so it's on both calendars. It's on the Kate calendar and it's on the Kate Training calendar. So I'm going to change the color of this calendar to a green. And you'll notice now the training calendar has 2 events on here and the Kate calendar only has 1. Now the Kate calendar is normally green, so maybe I actually need to change it to a different color. Let's go with purple. There you go. Alright, so remember that next to a calendar I can turn a calendar on and off as to whether I'm going to view it or not view it. And I can also delete it or unsubscribe from it because it's not my calendar. Or I can come over here to the 3 dots and I can display only this calendar. I can hide it from the list, or I can look at the settings and sharing for this calendar. And so if I click on this, it's going to take me into the sharing and settings. This is only for this calendar. Notice it's called Kate Training, and so I've got this information in here. So all of these things, I can make this calendar public so that everybody can search for it and find it. I can make it available to my domain, and then I can see the people that it is shared with. And so when you create a new calendar, you can share it with other people, and it's a really awesome feature of how this works. And so the calendar is shared with all of these people. I am logged in here, and so it actually belongs to, I believe, this account. And so I can give different rights to different people. So with Eric, if I wanted to change his settings, I can let him see only when it's free or busy, which hides all the details. In this way, it allows people that need to know if you're free or busy, see that information, but not see the specifics of everything that's going on in your life. Other things, they can see all the event details. They can make changes to the events, or they can make changes and manage the sharing. And so because I am logged in as Kate, I obviously have the access to do that, as well as if I was logged into me, I still have the access to make changes and manage sharing on this calendar. That is really nice. To add more people, I would click here. All I have to do is type in their name, and then I give them the rights that I want, and it will send them an email. The email that they get will actually show how to join the calendar, and it's just a link. You just click on it, and then the calendar appears under yours. So I'm going to click cancel there. Notice that under event notifications, you can add a notification, and if I add another type, I can change it and make it email. And this actually, I was saying, I think in the last video, that it was nice that notifications popped up and email didn't. Well, if I set it up for both here, both of them are going to set up. And so I can set it up just for a notification for that calendar. You can't change it within the general settings, but you can change it within the specific calendar. And you can change for all day events. You add notifications as well. And then you've got other things here, general notifications. For canceled event, you can turn on your email notification or just get none. If let's say you're doing a website and you aren't using Google Sites, because Google Sites will embed it just like that. You don't need the embed code, it will find it. But if I'm doing one and I need to embed this calendar, there is my embed code. If I need a public URL for this calendar, there it is. If I want to integrate it in some other way, I've got all these different things that I can do. Most of them you'll probably never touch. So if I don't want this calendar and I'm subscribed to it, I can remove it by unsubscribing here, or I can actually permanently delete it so that nobody can see it again. And if it's being used a lot, you want to make sure you don't delete it for everybody else. It's not deleting it just for you. If you want to delete it just for you, then you need to just do the unsharing, unsubscribing. All right, so that's the settings for a specific calendar. But you have these other settings here as well. To auto accept invitations, it's part of all this, but you can easily get to these different things by actually clicking here rather than scrolling down. And so just so you know, that is there as well. All right, so you'll notice on the Kate calendar, they've got these shared calendars, and then these are calendars that are, it's been shared with them, but they're more personal calendars, okay? So I'm going to come over here, I want to show you mine. These at the top are ones that have been shared with me, and they're not personal email calendars like my personal email. So down below here, these have also been shared with me. Jennifer's calendar and my husband's calendar are shared with me, and then all of these others, and I don't have them turned on, but if I was to turn one on, all right, we'll turn this one on and turn it off, and you'll see it come and go. And so if I turned all these on, I'd never be able to figure out anything that was going on anywhere. And so I am going to turn this off and turn it on as needed. And the ones that I need all the time, then I can just keep them checked. And so some of these I don't use a lot, and I probably could turn them off. These 3 came from my Google Classrooms, and when I'm done the class, and I probably could do it now, I can actually go here and actually hide it from the list so that I don't even have to see it, because I'm not putting anything in there that I really need to have access to. This is another class that I probably can hide as well. So that's calendars and different ones. But how do I create another calendar that is part of my own account? For example, let's say I want to create a calendar that, and this is just a really simple idea, to share if I have with my husband and my kids, let's say, rather than just sharing my calendar and putting everything on there, I can hit the plus and I can create a new calendar. And so I come in here and I can call this family, and I can put a description if I want. The owner of it is me, and I can put my time zone, and I'm going to create it. Now once it creates that calendar, it put it right here and it assigned a color to it. And so if I want to go to the calendar settings, I want to click here next to it, which I clicked on it and it opened it up. So now I would add people. And when I add people, I'm going to start typing in email addresses. And so I would type my husband's address, and then I would give him the rights to the calendar that I want him to have, and then I would send it to him. And I think I can add more than one person. I just put in one and then put the next one next to it. So I could add my daughter, and anybody else that I wanted to add to this family calendar could be in there as well. So that's how you create a calendar, and it's really, really easy. Now what if I don't want it anymore? I've created this calendar and I don't want it. And so remember how we got to here? We got the different things. I can come down to remove calendar, which is at the very bottom, and I just click delete. And it's going to say, do you want to permanently delete this? And you say yes, and it is gone. But I can say from experience that having calendars that are shared with other people, we share them in Kate. So I've got all these different things that I can look at and see. Now some of these are hidden, as you can see. But if I wanted to bring them back, this is, again, the place that I can go, is the settings, and then turn them on there. All right, hopefully that all makes sense. I'll go back here. All right, you'll notice here, you can add a coworker's calendar. In order for a coworker's calendar to be available for you, it needs to be a public calendar. If you want, let's say if I wanted Ginny's or Missy's, I already have Jennifer's, that if I didn't want to make it public, then I can actually have them share it with me. And then it's only shared with me or whoever they want to share it with. It is not public. So this right here, adding this, if it's not already public, it will send them an email saying you're requesting access. And if they okay it, then you would get access to it. This plus sign here is where I went to, remember, to create a new calendar. I can also browse resources. And under resources, I don't know where these are coming from, but these are obviously coming from somewhere at Murray State. So also under here, I can look at calendars of interest. Now these are actually from Google, and so I can turn on, I want to see Christian holidays, Jewish holidays, Muslim holidays, and so on. For sports, you can actually say, okay, I want to look at sports. I want to look at Major League Baseball, and then it will give you all the different teams, and you can follow their calendar. And Google has put that in there for you. Besides sports, you can also follow the phases of the moon, if you want that as well. So these are calendars that are pre-done that you can add and follow. When I set up a calendar, I can get a URL for it, and so I can share that URL with somebody and they can actually add it that way. Typically you're not going to do that, but most of you are going to do it by sending them an email with a link for them to join your calendar. So you're not going to add another person's calendar this way. I just wanted you to know it was there. The import and export, this is being able to add a calendar, importing it from my computer. I really don't know why or you would do this. You could import a Google or you could import an Outlook calendar, as it says here, and so you could put that there and import it, and you would actually see your Outlook calendar. And that may be, maybe your secretary or your principal keeps an Outlook calendar. You're in a Google Calendar. You can actually see that within your Google Calendar. So, which is really cool. Remember, just a couple little things you'll see over here on my right hand side. I'm back in my calendar instead of in Kate's. A couple other things you'll notice over here. This is a task list. We will look at Google Tasks next week. All right. Also, I want to remind you that you can search your calendars. You can come up here to the little search icon. As with Google, it is a great search engine. So if I'm looking for a specific thing, let's say I am looking for, let's say Educate Academy. So I can search it, and it's going to go through and search all the instances where it has Educate Academy, and it is going back in time as well as forward in time. So if I'm looking for a specific date for something, this might be the best way to find where it's at. So, and if it's crossed out, that means it was canceled. So also you can go in and put in which calendar you want to look in. You can, sorry about that, you can enter who the participant is. You can look at, search by where, dates, from, and to. So if you know it was in November of last year, you can put in November 1st to the end of November and search that as well. As usual, Google with its, the way it works with searching, does really well. A reminder that you can use the plus also to create an event. Remember we talked about clicking here, clicking up here with the top with the days. But if I click the plus, it lets me, makes a full screen, and you can manipulate it any way you want. The nice thing about using the plus is that if you're trying to schedule something that's a year or so out, it is easier sometimes to just type the dates in than it is to actually do a search for that day and then add that to it. All right, that's it for today. Your assignment today is going to be to create a new calendar. It may be something that you're going to share with your family. It may be something you're going to share with teachers in your grade level. Whatever it is, it doesn't have to be a real calendar because you saw what I did. I deleted it. I want you to create the calendar, and then I want you to take a screenshot showing me the calendar. And so when I'm back in here, let me go back here. I just want to see that it's listed over here. That's all. So like on a Mac, I could do Control Command 4, and I can just click and drag and highlight what I need. And I don't remember how to do it on a PC. It's been a little while, but Google it. If you're on a Chromebook, I know you can do it on there too. So just Google it and it'll tell you how to do it. Anyway, have a great week. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. Remember, my email is pdpriest, DEPRIEST @murraystate.edu. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you online.